Tina. We're back. How are you?
Good. How are you? This is
Good.
good.
Good. Ready whenever you are, my dear.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a health assessment.
Okay.
So it's just a few questions just to ask, just to see what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So what would you like to accomplish with your health? Is it like balance, stress?
It's balance. 100% balance.
100%. Where do you feel you're out of balance? Where do you have too much going on, or?
My life is project driven. So, I work a lot. I love to work. I have 3 boys. I have a husband who travels. I've got 2 dogs. I have 5 males in my family, which ought to tell you a whole lot of what I'm doing.
Okay.
But it's balance. It's being able to put something aside. Like it's always just, it's not fires. I have a lot going on because I love to have a lot going on, and I've got to do something about that.
Okay. And there's also, do you take care of yourself in there? Do you sounds like you have a lot of people to take care of, or that might need your assistance or all your projects or things like that. You have a lot going on. Now we would probably talk about like, are you in that picture too? Do you shut down and make sure you give yourself some time?
Oh, hardly ever.
Okay.
I almost have to schedule it, but I know that I have to do that. Do I do it? No.
Well, that's what's great. And that's what's great having a health coach is, we'd meet once a week and we would talk about that. Like, hey, did you get in your self-care, or what do you want to do? And just, we'll talk about and get deeper of what makes you happy, and to do that self-care, to make sure you're always recharged and things like that. So that's great. That's great that you're aware of it, because that is the first part of it, is the awareness. And that's what the health assessment is for, is just to bring the awareness and then the acceptance. And then when people are ready, we'll start taking action steps towards that. So that's great. So, well, how would you describe your current state of health today?
Well, it's funny because I've been going through all these healing sessions with so many of these practitioners. So right now, I hurt everywhere. It's like stuff is brought up, and it's so that's fine. As far as my health overall, it's not bad. It's not bad. I feel good. I sleep really well, and all of those things are great. But it's I just think where I am at this very point, having a whole lot of work done on myself, which needs to process. You know what I mean? That's going to take a little bit of time.
So that's what it is, like the patience to go with that, and to realize you are going through something, and to not be hard on yourself. And if you have to take a rest, or say, you know what, today I can't do that, it's okay, because you're listening to your body and letting things process, and not going and not letting it process. And so you're going to like let it release. And then you'll be feeling great, like then the energy and everything is just going to be flowing through. So
it ought to be amazing.
That's exciting what you're going through. You're really things are moving around.
They are. And I think if I didn't know that, I'd really be thinking there's something wrong with me, because it's all different part. Like so much of your psyche and your soul and your higher self shows up in different parts of your body and all these pieces. And so. I have learned I need to schedule. Okay, no appointments here, and go swimming or whatever.
Well, it's a learning process, learning more about yourself and what works for you. What works. I'm a true believer of individuality, and what works for you might not work for somebody else. So it's you knowing yourself and not listening to someone else. It's like, I would ask you questions like, what works best for you? Or what do you like? Or, really delve into and find that for yourself. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Well, can you tell me a time in your life when you didn't have so many things going on and it just was more balanced? Was there a time maybe?
More balanced.
Or you felt imbalanced?
Never balanced.
Oh, okay. So this is a part of your journey. You're trying to get there. Or you don't never get there, right?
Yeah. It's funny though, if I feel like I'm balanced. Okay, so let me say, so I'm 57, and I think probably when I was in my early 20s, I felt the best physically.
Okay.
I probably was the most balanced at that point, but of course I was just like starting my life and had to put stuff and I got to do this and I got to do that. And I've always worked a lot because I love to work, but I think that's the point I probably had the most balance. But I also felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything, number one, and number two, it felt kind of lazy to me. Although, see, I think that's what I'm stuck with balance to me. Maybe I think it's lazy. I don't know. I know it's not, but now that we're saying that, I think that's what's going on.
Well, that's I call that the little liar in our head. That the talk, the chatter, and we talk a lot about that too. And it's what we say to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And lazy could also be replace that with relaxing. Like, oh, I'm giving my body a chance to slow down and to sit down, and this feels good, and get into this movie, or going for a massage, or just having a conversation, when usually my routine is I keep going, and now I'm going to take time out and have a present conversation with somebody and really engage, and mm-hmm. that fills us up, and we're like, wow, I feel good. It's taking
to watch Masterpiece Theater for 3 hours.
There we go. And not feel guilty about it because you're not working all the time. And that's where sometimes that chatter comes in, that little liar. And all we have to do is just change what we say to ourselves. And it's just practicing that, the new way to talk to ourselves.
I bet that makes a huge impact too.
Oh my goodness. Because we're not beating ourselves up anymore. We're giving ourselves a pat on the back instead. Saying, good job. We're looking at what we do, not what we don't do. And that is where the change happens.
Is that the norm, though, beating ourselves up? Is that the normal thing? Because we all do it until we learn not to, I think, yes?
I think we grew up in our generation of that is what we were, you're not doing enough, or you're being lazy, or get up and do something, instead of taking care of ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No. So what would it mean for you to be in balance? What would that look like for you? Like being able to sit down and watch a 3 hour, like, let me ask you, if you sat down and watched a movie for 3 hours, would you feel okay with that? Or would that bother you? Would you have some chatter?
I'm okay with that now. But it's literally having to schedule that. So it's not like my day is my own from the time I get up, which is fine. I asked for this, right? I love what I do, but I also realize if I were right now to say, okay, so we have a conference call tomorrow, all of us. So I have to prepare for that. But after that, I have no appointments on purpose, maybe so I can go watch 3 hours of Masterpiece Theater. I don't know.
And it's being spontaneous in that moment.
For me, yeah, it's like, okay, this is your time, do something fun, whatever it is.
And that's another great thing is to write down things, and I say like put them on your refrigerator, put them in a spot for you can always look at, because sometimes we're like, what can we do? And then it's like refer back to that, like, oh yes, I want to do that, or I would like, hey, want to go to a movie, go visit a friend I've always said, or make that phone call. So it's just
we never remember them. They keep popping up, but
they never remember them. And then when you get that free time, it's like, okay, so it's just, if you're going to be spontaneous, you'll have ideas.
Yeah.
So what is your main motivation for wanting to make that change, for having more balance? What would that feel like? What is your motivation for that?
To just be the best I can be. And I realize I will need balance to do that. I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish. I want my family to be happy and centered, and I want to be the best I can be. That's the drive. And I know if I don't fill up my bucket, as they say, and if I don't take care of myself, I will never get to that point.
So it's that reminding, checking in with somebody once a week and really talking about making sure you take care of yourself and making sure that you are feeling balanced. You're not going out, scheduling too much, or.
Because that's a hard thing to do. Like when you say that from the standpoint of checking in with somebody every week, that makes sense, because now it's not, the onus isn't on you to do that. And I'll just schedule something else to do.
It's that accountability, like, it's just somebody like, I got to check in with her to see, am I doing what I want to do? I get to talk about like, hey, I had a stressful, how can I, organize this week a little better, or schedule it in, or hey, what did you schedule for yourself? So it's just making sure that you're taken care of.
Yeah.
And because I get that we wear a lot of hats, and so we're going to make sure it's all balanced. And yeah, that's it. And it's not easy. So that's awesome. Happy everything you said. So, well, that's basically, like I would do a health assessment with everybody. And at the end I would discuss, if the client feels it's a good fit, and we would take it from there.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that was easy.
You make it easy. You help.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's beautiful, Tina. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Chair.
All right. Bye.